folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video. So today we're going to do a bit of a fun video, I guess. So we're going to try out Xatu. So reason why we're doing this is, well, one, we get to bully Marshall, which is a very important point. But also, Xatu, you know, Xatu's fun, right? Xatu is like one of the most variable units in terms of damage in the whole game. Like, the dude could do like from like 0 damage, nearly 0 damage, like dude, he could do like so bad damage it's like into the single digits, right? Or he could do like as much damage as like any of the other top tier strikers with only a 2-power move. So that's basically all thanks to Stored Power. So Stored Power is a weird move, right? So uses 2 gauges, Psychic type special attack with a 15 power, 100% accuracy against one opponent. So you're wondering, really? A 15 power move could do that much? Yeah, because what it does is the more the user's stats are raised, the greater the power of this move. So the more stat buffs is applied to Will, the more it powers up the Stored Power. I think there is a cap, but you know, you could get it up to really, really high numbers. So let's try this out then. So yeah, basically, again, if you're in the right scenario, you could do a lot of damage. If you're in the wrong scenario, you could do no damage at all. It could be like one of the weakest hitting units in the game, or it could be like extremely strong with only 2 bars, right? So to help us achieve that goal, we're going to bring in Eevee. And because Eevee has the sync move that gives a lot of buffs, it sharply raises attack, defense, special defense, speed, and accuracy to all allied sync pairs. So that's +2 on 6 different stats. So that's +12, which I think already like caps it out or something, right? So that's a lot of buffs on that. So we're trying to get Eevee's sync move up, and then with Rotom here, we're just using Breathtaking on ourselves so we get Eevee's sync move a bit quicker, right? So let's get into this and let's try it out. Okay. So let's get, all right, let's get the invites in. And so basically what we do have as a setup is we have 2 Eevees, only 2 Eevees, right? We also have another person who is buffing crits as well. So hopefully, even though Marshall does have a critical shield, right? I think, you know, the anti-bullying shield or whatever. Marshall has a critical shield, but hopefully we could get a few stored powers, crit stored powers in before he sets up his shield, because there is like a really small period, small window in between where the shield is actually down. So we're gonna have someone to buff crits, and we're also gonna have them have like a regular Will without any buffs and see how much a stored power without any buffs does, and then compare it to like a maxed out stored power, right, in comparison. Which, by the way, my Will is 5 out of 5, only 4 stars, right? Because I don't really want to use any 4-star tickets on Will, but yeah, it's still 5 out of 5, right, in terms of power. All right, so let's do this then. Let's Breathtaking ourselves. Can we get an MP refresh? That'll be really nice. MP refresh, please. MP refresh. Okay. Oh well then. Just swap into Eevee and then start using Let's Go's. All right. So let's go. We'll just keep on, you know, spamming these buffs and all that stuff. Not that it matters that much. I mean, it does give us stats, but you know, we just want to make this part as quick as possible so we could swap into Will soon. All right. So you know, let's go. I'll be using potions just in case like we get hit, because we could potentially get hit like pretty hard, honestly. Because hey, they are super effective against us, right? So there's that to consider. All right, let's potion ourselves here. Also 3 more turns before we get our sync move up. Let's save that Eevee with a potion, and then after that we got after that, and then 1 more turn, we should get our sync move up. So, hopefully no one dies. Alright, here's a stored power from unbuffed Will, right? Did like 20-something damage against that Medicham. Which is kind of sad. Alright, here's the sync moves. We got both sync moves in. Alright, or not yet, but here it is. After that, we could swap into Will and then start blasting with stored power. So remember, that Will did like 20-something against that Medicham on that stored power, right? So let's see how much we get to do over here with a fully buffed Will, right? Alright, so that Will, without all that stuff, did like 1k or so, right? Which is a lot, Alright, let's see how much our Will does. This is without crit shield, right? Oh, 3.7k on a 2-bar move. Almost 4k damage. Almost 4,000 damage. Alright, here comes the critical shield. He's not going to have that up, unfortunately. 3.8k, so almost... So that's like... So it did like 20-something on a Medicham, right? So that should be like 40-something on a Psychic Weak unit. So we did like almost 100 times more damage with Sword Power fully buffed. Almost 100 times more. That's kind of insane! In terms of the potential that Will could reach in comparison to just, you know, regular Will, right? So, damn. Anyways, let's finish this off then. Alright, there goes that Medicham. And this throw should get one shot there, 3,000 damage on a 2-bar move. So, that was fun.
Pause for applause.
Pause for applause indeed. Indeed. Let's try this in single player as well. Let me set this up in single player. So we get some, you know, different buffs, right? Because in single player it's kind of harder to get as many buffs as you can, in comparison to co-op, right? Because, well, you get a lot more people to help out, especially, you know, with Eevee and stuff. But let's try single player. I think Marshall's in tech. Let's find him and beat him up again. Poor guy. Yeah, let's put Will in here. Let's see, Sabrina Alexander, that gives max crit, max special attack as well, right? Drake and Soundmans could give... Alright, so Sabrina gives plus 3 crit, so that's 3. Plus 6 special attack, so that's 9 total now. And then we got plus 2 speed with Reflect, so that's 11. Drake gives some defense. Drake gives 8 over there, so yeah. We should have this max out as well over here, so let's try this out, maybe? I don't know. I just want to fight Marvel again. Okay. Alright, this is a different difficulty, though. It's a completely different stage, even though it's Marshall. Should we keep that in mind? Oh, also this move, my power is limited. I'm just getting this to, you know, get sync move up at the moment. Just trying to spam stuff to get sync move up. This is also an interesting move, so it kind of like steals your opponent's stats. It doesn't like, it's not like Grimsy that takes their stats away and then gives it to yourself. It just gives them to yourself. They don't take them away. Like, they still have the stats, but you get their stats as well, so that also helps with sword power, obviously, right? But that is extremely situational. You have to like find stages that actually like buff themselves or whatever to even make use of it. So yeah, there's that. Alright, so we should be able to get our maxed up sword power in this hit, and it is going to do, as it raises its defense, which is almost 4,000 damage. Wait, is this also very hard? Those are like super hard, right? Was it super hard or very hard? Pause for applause, indeed. I think this is very hard. Which should be the same as the one that we just fought, which was, you know, the EX co-op very hard. But yeah, so basically the two things I did want to kind of, you know, show in this video. One is Will's absurd damage, and also Minuscule's damage when it's not boosted, right? The huge difference between a boosted Will and unboosted Will. And also Eevee, right? Eevee, here's what happened to Eevee. Like, Eevee, when it first came out, it was bugged, unfortunately. But now they did fix Eevee, right? Or, well, they didn't kind of like fix it, they just made it better. They kind of buffed it. So when it first came out, like, the description said it like increased either accuracy or speed, and like it did the other. So to compensate, they just gave Eevee both accuracy and speed, which is pretty awesome, right? So hey, pretty good buff for Eevee. Like, honestly, Eevee's really good now, especially with Belleville, right? So Eevee's decently tanky, got potions, right? Have move gauge, regens, and also has a basically free buff, right? Because the buff that Eevee has is on her sync move, which, you know, means you don't have to use any MP for that. You could use that indefinitely. Like, honestly, like, in comparison, like, to like some sync moves, like, for example, like a lot of the megas, right, if you're trying to conserve MP, you're not using any sync moves. Like after your first sync move, after you're already mega, like your second sync move, like you don't really need to go for another sync move, just because mega sync move, they just do not do that much damage, right? So you go with Eevee again, or even if you're not using a mega, like doing if you want to play more defensively, because you do give both defense and special defense with that, right? For Eevee, so if you want your tanks to tank a lot more, your striker to hit slightly harder as well. Well, not slightly harder, a lot harder, right? You could go with that as well. So, anyways, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy the videos, or subscribe to the channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.